guys, welcome back to the house. So, Reality with the King, Carlos King and his podcast. You guys, I will go ahead and link it down below because, y'all, it's really good, and Carlos King be spilling a whole bunch of tea. So, on one of the episodes, he did a Q&A, right? And the peoples on Twitter were asking him, like, what makes a good reality TV star and what makes a bad reality TV star? And he was talking about, like, what he personally looks for when he goes ahead and casts for his different shows and whatnot. And he ended up telling a story about Latisha Scott that I thought was so funny. If you guys don't know, Latisha Scott is from Love Marriage Huntsville. And I personally feel like Latisha Scott is the driest, most stalest, most boring person to ever be cast on reality television. And just to hear Carlos King say that he thought Latisha was boring too, just gave me the confirmation that I wasn't crazy, okay? Because I don't know if you guys remember, but a couple of months ago, it was all over the blogs that Skylar Davis from the Real Housewives of Potomac was fired from the show, right? She was no longer going to be a friend of the show, which I found to be really interesting, especially seeming as though we're going to get Robin Dixon back for another season. Okay. I'm so glad Juan Dixon is not here right now. But yes, when they announced that Skylar Davis was going to be leaving the show, I was very disappointed because I felt like Skylar was interesting. I felt like she was spicy. She was African. She was beautiful. She had a cute husband, beautiful children. She could dress. She could teach Jizzy, the last lady of Potomac, how to turn on her lights when she get dressed in the morning. Okay? So when they announced that, I was heartbroken. I'm like, no, I love Skylar Davis. Like, I just really did not understand Bravo's rationale behind firing her. And then I saw on Twitter that Carlos King was coming out basically saying, well, you know, not everybody's made for reality TV. I mean, I would hang out with Skylar in real life, but for a TV show, she's not that girl. And I was like, what? For a TV show, she's not that girl? Y'all know I love Carlos King. Y'all know I love Carlos King. But I was like, how the hell is Skylar Davis not made for reality TV and Latisha Scott, your girl, is? I was too confused at the situation. I was like, ain't no way. So, anyways, on his podcast, he gave an example about how in the first week of filming, Latisha Scott was extremely boring and he had to let her know, like, sis, I'm about to fire your ass. Go ahead and check out this clip.
I told Latisha Scott after the first week of shooting, hey girl, I don't know about you. I don't think you have what it takes to be on reality TV. You're boring.
You guys. Not to drag Latisha or anything, but he was like, girl, I don't think that this is going to be a really great relationship between us. I mean, you don't speak during group scenes. You're not all that transparent. You're not opening up. You're not talking. Your voice quivers. You're boring. You're not doing anything. I mean, your husband, he's great. You, not so much. Okay, definitely giving us Melissa Gorga vibes. We like your husband, but we don't like you. All right? And then I guess soon after that, she begged for her job and she became more expressive and a little bit more confident and vocal and things of that nature. But yeah, I never really understood why Latisha Scott was on television. Like, I mean, till this day, you can see that she is more confident in herself. You know, she's a lot more vocal. Okay, I'll go ahead and say that. But even with that being said, she still just is not all that interesting to me personally. So, I mean, I'm glad Carlos King admitted to it, honey. Okay. Now, speaking of his podcast, he recently had Claudia Jordan on there, and I thought it was really interesting because one thing I do like about his podcast is that he interviews a lot of misunderstood folks, i.e. Monique Samuels, Mariah Huck, and now Claudia Jordan. It was a really good interview, and they spilled a lot of tea about the Real Housewives of Atlanta, honey, okay? By basically saying that Claudia Jordan was not wealthy, she did not have a public relationship, and so she came into the show thinking and knowing that she was going to be a friend of the show, but after the Puerto Rico session, okay, the Reed session, where Claudia Jordan basically went to hell in on Lanithia Leaks. Yeah. That's when Nene started to vouch for her, and Carlos King, who had wanted her to be a full-timer from the beginning, they really started going in for her or going to bat for her behind the scenes, and she eventually went from friend of the show to a peach holder, which means that somebody had to get fired. Miss Demetria McKinney, whatever the hell her name is. Demetria McKinney, Demetria. Yeah, I think that's her name. Janine, whatever the hell. Yeah, Roger Bob, Miss Roger Bob. Now I do know his name. Okay, we know Roger Bob. I dated Roger Bob. Anyway, so yeah, Demetria was set to be a full-timer. Then she got demoted, and then Claudia got promoted, and then the rest is history. She talked about how she didn't even get paid for the Puerto Rico scene or any of the scenes that she had filmed throughout that season. She signed her contract to be a full-timer the night before they filmed the reunion, which I find to be really dope. And she allegedly negotiated one of the highest rated first-year contracts of anybody at that time on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she got a 6-figure salary. One interesting thing about this interview is that they started to talk about the next 15, and that's when Claudia started to break down, okay? Because I believe at the end of Housewives season 7 or whatever season Claudia was on, she got fired from the Ricky Smiley morning show, okay? In the words of Nene Leakes, ask Ricky Smiley. Okay, she got fired from there. I think she was in a long-term relationship at the time, and the guy ended up breaking up with her, or they broke up. I don't really know the situation. And then she lost her full-time Peach, got demoted as a friend, was offered a friend contract, but did not go back. So she had a lot of things just going wrong in her life. It was a whole whirlwind of chaotic energy happening. So she didn't go back to the show, but years later, she did the show The Next 15 on TV One with Karamo, and I think her name is Laura Govan and Tiffany Pollard and I said Karamo, Benzino, Jennifer Williams from Basketball Wives and things like that. And Claudia in this podcast started crying because she felt like, okay, this was kind of like my second chance to change people's perception of me, because a lot of people hate me and dislike me from the Housewives of Atlanta. So I'm going to go ahead and do this show and try to really get people to see who I really am, all to find out that it was nothing but a whole smear campaign to kind of derail Claudia's image once more. So she talked about how her and Carlos King didn't talk for a long time after that show ended up wrapping, because she kind of felt like, you're the executive producer of the show, and then yet again, you're basically letting me down by letting my image be torn apart and letting my character be assassinated on your TV shows that you produce. But eventually they got over it. They kind of talked about that. It was really interesting. So you guys should definitely check it out. I will link it down below. His podcast is a key, you guys. All right. Let me know how y'all feel. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to create a great day.